and I just thought about finishing my the listing of every building in CityVille. Hopefully for all of those guys out there that have been watching, thank you, and a little bit of feedback would be nice, because I really don't know if I'm right or wrong on anything about that fact. As you can see, this is my little old town here. Nothing changed too much. I'm actually just hoarding coins at the moment, and I don't want to be gaining levels as fast as maybe I could be gaining them. While at the same time I was just trying to figure out what is the best, what are the best buildings, what is the highest productivity that you can have, and generally this kind of stuff right here. Now, as you can see, I'm all out of goods, and my little town right here is actually making sufficient amount of money. I mean, I'm making about 50 or 60,000 coins a day, which is not impressive, but for the growth that I need is quite enough. And you may also notice the fact that I've got a lot of empty space out here. I've just bought these parcels, these expansions, and I haven't built anything on them. The reasoning for that is the fact that I will be modifying my city in the near future to make it more accurate. Oh, I don't have the supply for this. No matter, I'll just supply them a bit later. So to be a bit more accurate, you need place, because you cannot store stuff, so you need to have empty space for you to make permutations of buildings and roads and everything, items that you've got. And I will be looking to actually modify the whole outlook of my city, just make neighborhoods, build efficient housing and shopping blocks, with these what are they called, decorations that obviously enhance your payouts. And I also need to be doing a worksheet about the decorations as well, although there are hundreds of them and the sizes are actually quite important. Okay, so let's just get back to the matter at hand. I see one ship or two ships coming in right now, which is not of interest to me. I'll just get everything that I have. It's a decent city, I have to say. It's not full of stuff. It's not using the "oh my goodness, you don't need roads" tutorials that we all know and we've seen on YouTube. I personally don't think that that's a good reason for building your city with just sidewalks and having an enormous blob of buildings which make no sense, have no aesthetics and such. What I have done today is a spreadsheet about the CityVille shops. Let me just enhance this a bit. Okay, that's it. This is everything that we need. So what we have here is the names of the shops above, and also I have categorized them on income, supply, cost, and the only two factors that I deem important in this spreadsheet are the income per supply, which I have dubbed profitability, which means how much coin you get for each good that you have that you've just served to the population. And we can see all of the data here from all of the shops. You can actually check this out. It is just the same as in the game. And I've actually dubbed income divided through supply, which means actually what I've pointed out before, the exact amount of coins that you get for each good. So the profitability I've dubbed as low when smaller than 4, which means you get 4 coins for each good. And if we take a look at the goods, production worksheet that I've done earlier, the only ones that actually cost less than 4 times, so for example, if you only buy goods from Charlieville on the train, and you only sell them in a bakery, then the amount of coins going into the production of the goods and coming in from the bakery is exactly the same. Of course, you would not like that. You would like to actually make a profit, and generally everything that is above 2 or even 1%, but there is no building that makes 1%, is actually making you profit. Is actually kind of good. So at this point we can easily assess the situation and say that the shops that give you less than 4 coins for each served goods are actually low income shops or low profitability shops, and these are only the first 5 shops in the line right here. Now the ones that give you before somewhere between 4 and 5 are actually the medium amount of profitability, and everything that goes above 5 is actually the highest profitability overall. I should have given this a red color if I remember correctly, and this as well. Okay, so what the green color suggests is the fact that that is the best at its tab. So in our example right here, we've got the sushi shop, or I don't know, restaurant, which actually gives you 5.5 coins for each good that you serve in it. And consider the fact that it only costs 12,500 coins and only needs 110 goods. This is actually the second best in my preference. This is actually my personal preference, and the first one is the handbag shop, which actually costs a lot less and gives almost the same amount of profit out. Okay, at the same time, it is also important to know how easy or how much time is usually required for you to get a refund out of your investment. So at this point, this is not in minutes or hours. This is actually in times harvested, because of the fact that harvesting a restaurant or a shop, for that matter, takes an unknown amount of time. Maybe it would be known, but I would have to do some experiments with different types of population, if they are happy, unhappy, content, or something like that, and also with the amount of goods that are actually needed in a given amount of time. Now, I can say for sure that the 10 supply shops, which are the game store and the bakery, they take less than 5 minutes, or maybe just a couple of minutes, for them to serve all of those 10 goods. So I can basically extract from that the fact that a shop that has 100 supply would take around 1 hour, maybe even less, if your population is on green, just like it is in my town, as you can see right here. Okay, so I forgot to get maybe I'll get the tower. So keep your fingers crossed for me. Nah, I just got 1,000 coins. Okay, it's better than nothing, but I would have loved to get another tower, as I do have one at this point. And it's awesome. And I also forgot to put in the details, but I think that I've mentioned them. Anyway, here are the details. The tower basically costs nothing, so this is quite nice. And you get 200 population out of it, which is really interesting, really nice. And also 200 coins each day, so the tower takes a full day, 24 hours to be able to harvest. So it is one of the most efficient housing, because I've also got the housing blocks over here that you guys can see, and I've also added the latest 2 housing blocks to the list. But let's just go back to my initial talk about the shops. So at this point we can see that the shop that takes the least amount of harvest for your investment to be refunded is the coffee shop. But at the same time, it has one of the smallest profitabilities, which is 3.2. So yeah, basically you're not going to be getting a lot of gold out of it, a lot of coin out of it, but you will be getting your money back the fastest, and by the fastest I mean a lot faster. I mean 2 times. That can happen I mean, you can harvest a 100 supply shop like 4 or 5 times even a day. So this is quite interesting and quite a nice thing. Although I would not be going for such shops, as you can't just fool your city with only coffee shops. That would be ridiculous, of course. So the refunding time in harvest I have dubbed as low when it is smaller than 10 times, which is a good thing, as medium when it is between 10 and 20 times, and as high when it is over 20 times. And the highest is the tower, obviously, which you need to harvest 111.1111.11111 times in order for you to get your money back, which basically means at 165 supply. And also, if you're playing less than 2 hours a day, quite annoying, because that would mean the same amount of days basically if you are playing less than 2 hours a day, or I don't know, maybe half that amount of days. So yeah, it would take you like 2 years or maybe even more to get your money back from one tower. But this is all up to you guys and how you want your city to look like. Maybe somebody that wants to go for a skyscraper city will just spend as much money as you can on these towers. Something that is actually more useful are the sushi and the wedding, the handbag sushi and the wedding shops. These are probably the best ones because you can get your money back in a decent amount of time, and the profitability is the highest in the game from these three, except for the tower, of course. So I've also made this daily time and void chart that I actually did in the past 2 videos as well. So if you are just a regular player signing in once or twice a day, which means the less than 2 hours, playing less than 2 hours a day, you should generally avoid the high and the medium profitability buildings, because generally the high and the medium profitability buildings are also have a high refund period or amount of you're getting what I'm saying. So so this would mean the fact that it would take a lot of time for you to actually make new shops and increase, expand your city. Generally, you could go for the first 5 shops right here, but also the diner and the pool would be good bets for you, as the profitability is quite high, and the amount of money that you spend isn't that bad after all. Okay, so generally, if you're playing less than 2 hours, just stick to these 2 rules. Avoid getting these high-end shops. If you play between 2 and 4 hours, this is just a free rule. Basically, you can do whatever you like, but I would generally suggest avoiding the medium and low profitability buildings, which would suggest you could try going for some medium and some high-end high profitability buildings, but also you should I suggest that you avoid these. So at the same time, you would have to balance between the 2 of them. You would have to carefully consider how much time and space and actually money you've got, and make out the best decisions yourself generally from this area right here. Alright, and if you are an intense player, just being on 6 to 8 times a day, just harvesting and getting buildings and everything, you should generally avoid the first types of buildings, which although have a really low refunding time, as in harvest, they do not make that big of a profit, and the costs are so small that you could probably just avoid them. Okay, so this is basically all of it. Oh, let me just go to the housing. Exactly, I've added the last 2 types of houses that they have added recently. which are the class condoms and the atrium lofts or something like that. They look really awesome, and I cannot wait to get them. Unfortunately, I don't have the level or the population or whatever. Quick reminder, we see here the population, the revenue, the time factor, and the price from each of these buildings, of these houses. And basically I just went out and calculated the daily energy required, which is 1 for the atrium and 3 energy per day for the class condoms, which are in my opinion really interesting, and I would really love to have a lot of them in the near future. Of course, the daily revenue is of course quite nice, quite big for the class condoms, while the atrium lofts are not that interesting, so to say. The revenue per population is also quite low, which is something to be, as I've spoken in this video, which is something to be desired once you get to higher levels, because you would want to have luxury and not a whole lot of your maxed out population being unsatisfied. And the buyback times are even bigger than for the sky condoms and the sprawling mansions and stuff. Well, the atrium lofts are just ridiculous. So these are just they're not a necessity, they are just a what's it called, a luxury, while the class condoms can be, you might consider getting them, although the buyback time is actually ridiculous in minutes, because if you look at this, it's like more than 2 years. So you would have to constantly get the rent 3 times a day, with making no mistakes, just constantly getting each day for 3 times a day the rent. And after 2.5 years, or even 3 years, or even 4 years, I'm not gonna do the calculus right now, you would actually get your investment back. So yeah, not the best of deals. Okay, so thank you everybody for watching and listening this. I've been keeping this down here for your for your informations. Yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave me some feedback on what you believe, and be sure to check in later on with my YouTube account, because I will be making a video in which I'm doing a full revamping of the city that I've got. Actually, I'm going to be buying a couple of more expansions, and keep the farming to one side, keep the apartments and the skyscrapers and the HQs to one side, the farmhouses and such to another. So I'm going to be making a nicely, or what I hope to be a nice looking city. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.